Alright y'all, we've allowed our buffalo hide to be salted for 24 hours. So now we're going to take all the salt off. I was going to use this salt in the degreasing bath, but I'm not anymore. So with all this long hair on here, I'm just going to use new salt. So let's get into it. Alright, I've got my scale. Make sure that we got a scale on pounds. We do. Put a bucket up here. And we're going to tear the weight. Okay, and all we need, I'm using a half a pound of salt per gallon of water. I've got a barrel outside that's got 20 gallons of water. So there we go. There's 10 pounds. All right, here we are at the barrel. All right, so I've got the 20 gallons of water. We'll dump in the salt. Okay, I didn't have any of I ran out of the degreaser I normally use, but I just went to Dollar General and got the Dawn Platinum Dawn dish soap. It'll do just fine. We're probably going to degrease this buffalo hide twice because it's got so much hair, and we're still going to go over it on the fleshing part of things. And yeah, so I'll tell you what, it's only $4 bottle. Let's just dump the whole thing. Ain't got to get crazy technical with none of this right here. This stuff ain't gonna harm the hide, just gonna get the grease off of it. And then it's a mess right here right now. I got a whole other buffalo hide in here thawing. Been real busy. All right, get it stirred in there and mixed up really well. All right, now insert buffalo hide. All right, y'all, so we've got our fleshed and salted buffalo hide. We're going to insert it in the degreaser. And what we're going to do is leave it in here for 45 minutes. And we're going to come out here and agitate it quite often during that 45 minutes. The reason why we want to do this is, even though it's still somewhat in a raw state, we're going to be putting it in a pickle bath, and all these different things can mess with the pH of your pickle. So we need to make sure that we need to remove any excess blood, excess grease from fleshing. And so just agitate this hide in here. Really get that soap in there. Just one of the first few attacks that we're going to do to all this dirty stuff on this hide. Is when we get done, we want a clean hide. All right, we'll come back and stir this thing throughout a 45-minute time frame. I'll put a timer on, and we'll get it out in 45 minutes and do the next steps. Once you've allowed your buffalo hide to soak in the degreasing solution for 30 to 45 minutes, you're going to want to rinse it all off before you put it in your pickle bath. So we'll make sure we get all the soap off, all of anything. I like to do the flesh side first and then flip it over and elevate this frame so the hair can dry better and drain better. So here we go. Once you got it flipped over, thoroughly wash this hair on this thing. All right, y'all, we got it washed off really well. So we're gonna allow it to drain a little bit. It is starting to sprinkle here. So I'm just gonna let the majority of this excess fluid come off of this hide, and then we're gonna go and stick it into the pickle. All right, y'all, so I put my container on my scale, I tared the weight, made sure it was on ounces, and I'm using 30 gallons of water for this pickle bath. And so I'm using Pro One Performance Chemicals. It's liquid safe acid. There's all kinds of different no harm pickling acids that you can get. This stuff goes a long way. So it's half an ounce per gallon of water, 30 gallons, 15 ounces. All right, so we'll set that right over here. And now for the pickling bath, I like to use a pound of salt per gallon of water. So I got 30 gallons. I need 30 pounds of salt. I'm just gonna pick this dude up. All right, 30 pounds of salt. Well, let's go put all this into the pickle bath and get it mixed up. Okay, we've got our 30 gallons of water here. Now we're just gonna dump our 30 pounds of salt in here. That'll do it. And then we'll get our acid, dump it in there, give it a little wash around. And now we'll give this whole thing a really good mix. Now, once we've got it in there, we've got a pH strip. I already know what color I need it to be for this particular one. You just need a pH strips that go from 0 to 3. So this one goes from 0 to 3. And as long as it's like a yellow, light yellow color like that on mine, you know that you is okay. So that pH there is probably around 1, maybe 1.5. You just want it to be below 2. Like, if I saw that it was at 2, I would add more acid. I like it to be, especially before you put the hide in, because the hide is probably going to drop the pH. I'm sorry, raise the pH. So just make sure that you're testing it, because you really don't want that pH to go up, and then you end up losing all the fur on your hide. That's the last thing you want. All right, y'all, we're fixing to insert our buffalo hide into the pickle, and it's starting to smell good. So we'll get it in there real good, get it stirred around in there, make sure we ain't got no air bubbles going on in here. All you gotta do is just get your hands in there. This pickling acid ain't gonna hurt you. I mean,
It might make your hands tingle, but other than that. So now our hide is safe. Hair won't slit. All the bacteria on this hide is dying right now. So I'm going to show you a really cool trick on how to finish up the fleshing work on this, because like I said, we still got stuff that we got to do. So guys, there you go. Make sure it's all completely submerged, and that's pretty much it for this episode. Next, what we're gonna do is leave it in here for 2 days. After 2 days, we'll put it back on the rack, allow it to drain and dry a pretty good amount. And I'll show you how I'm gonna do the finishing touches on fleshing this thing up. Super quick method, really effective, really cool. Not using the fleshing wheel, so gonna be cool. This pickle's gonna plump up the skin, and it's gonna make it a lot easier to finish it up. So 48 hours in the pickle, take it out, flesh it. We will degrease it again after we flesh it again, and then we put it back in the pickle for another day or two. All right, so yeah, that sums up this part 2 of how to tan a buffalo series. So I appreciate y'all for watching. If you like this video, please like, and if you want to, please subscribe. It helps out quite a bit, and I appreciate y'all's support. So thank you for watching.